Welcome to Jackie Builds a Capra.
Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA. Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA. There we go. Welcome everyone to day 2, episode 2, part 2 of what might be a trilogy, if we can get the funding from a big studio, of Jackie Builds a CAPRA. Did you just throw a peace sign again?
I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so here we are. If anyone, as always with these live streams, if anyone sees that our lighting is off, our sound is off, what else could be off? I don't know.
Yesterday the music was too loud.
Yeah, yesterday the music was too loud. We have that turned down. I have turned up the gain on the mic just a tad because I felt like it was a little quiet. Don't want people to have to jack up whatever their phones. But we're at day 2. I'm gonna let Jackie take over.
All right, so where we last left off, I was struggling with these little dudes, but I did the rest of them, and I wanted to wait to do this little guy because I did it differently than the other side because one side is longer. So the pliers weren't working for me, so what I ended up doing is just using the desktop to just kind of pop it in. But don't press too hard or the ball will go all the way through. So you want to have some range of movement there. And those are the shocks. So now, bump, 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 we're on bag D. And brought my little book stand in so I can have my situation easily readable. Okay, so let's get this stuff organized. Some are longer, some are shorter. It sounds like beautiful chimes. Okay, that's one really long one. Makes you want to sing Christmas carols already. Oh no. Don't report me for that. Alright.
Yeah, we don't have licensing to Christmas carols,
D2. Oh,
so can't. I don't know if we're allowed to sing them.
everybody can sing some California Raisins.
Is that no license? I don't know.
It's my favorite Christmas special of all time. Alright, let's...
There's a California Raisin Christmas special?
Heck yeah. Of course there is.
I don't know that.
Where have you been?
Texas? It's like a whole other country.
It is this whole good waters. Okay, let's see. I don't know, I've been on a nostalgia kick lately. For some California raisins for no reason.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know, they're pretty weird. The 80s.
Well, the 80s were weird, but I think the raisins were okay.
Alright, that sounds like it could be like that. Okay. Got some flat heads here. Are those the same? Yes, they are. Okay. Can't hide from me. Get out of there. What? Okay. What's this little guy called again?
What, the servo one?
Servo. They advertise this on the box. What's supposed to be special about this guy?
I don't know. We'll have to look at the box.
Yeah.
Or I guess I should say, I'll let you look at the box. It's durable. That's what it says.
Okay. I don't know, man.
Durable servo horn.
Is there a missing part? Looks like there should be a piece of metal in there. Is
I
that
suspected
this?
that is that, yeah. So remember how we have all of the different spline counts on various servos?
Yes, splines.
Yeah, you know, the little ridges.
Am I supposed to pop that in there? Or did I just destroy it? Let's just look at the instructions.
Well, it's going to depend on which servo you end up selecting, and we haven't selected a servo yet. So since we don't have a servo selected for you yet, I guess we'll have to select one. So I'll pull this off the shelf because this was going to go on something. You can always change it, but this will at least get you going. Not that this is a bad servo. It's not. It's a fantastic servo. It's a high-tech 7954 SH high voltage whatever. So there you go.
But the servo arm's already on it?
Yeah, that's already got one on there.
And so
you'll have to remove it and put that one on. Or if you feel that they are the same length, you could just try the one that's on there and skip that portion.
They look the same length.
Yeah, I think you're good with the one that's on there. Because that one is, the one in your right hand is huge.
It's pretty big.
By comparison. And typically, I find that it's usually better to have smaller things because you can fit them in and out easier. But we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen. Maybe not anything. Things could happen.
All right, we got to decipher the hieroglyphics today. You're gonna need one of these. One of these, but how do I know which one? I'm gonna try the short one. It looks to be the fatty one.
Well, this, you've got some measurements down here for how long they want you to make it. So you can use the calipers to measure to see which one is about that length, right? Because I mean, 126 is obviously vastly different from 55. But it looks like, are there just two lengths over there?
There's three. This one's the short one.
Okay. So, I would measure. I'm guessing that what you need is that short one because the other ones are probably 4 upper links, 4 lower links. The super long one is probably your tie rod, and that is your, we'll call it a drag link.
55.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be exact. But
Boom.
there you go.
What are these then?
Hi, Sean. Hi, Alan. No, we're not done with the CAPRA. Jackie worked on it for 2 hours yesterday, and we'll see how long it takes today. I think yesterday I guessed it would take, what did I say, 4 or 5 hours? Something like that. Yeah. I'll say between 4 and 5 is probably my revised thought process, but that's just because we jibber jabber a lot.
You better not be difficult with yesterday.
Like, yeah. I'm not, wow, those are really I don't know if the camera really accurately shows the color difference between the, I guess it does, yeah, between the shock rod end and the drag link tie rod link ends. The other rod ends are very gray by comparison, if that matters to anyone.
I broke a tie rod in my car once.
How'd you do that?
Just driving like a maniac.
Gotta look out for those curves.
Makes it really hard to handle in the rain. You dirty rant. You're just gonna...
So, I'm not positive, but I'm guessing that for adjustability reasons, one of those may be reverse thread. So you may want to take a look at that. And the reason that they would do that, well, you don't have to take the rod end off, you can just look. But the reason they would do that is so that once you have it assembled on the truck, you could fit a small tool or something like that through that this little hole, right? And then you could turn it, and that would lengthen or shorten it. That way you can get it exactly how you want it once it is on the truck. I'm sure some people will be a fan of that and some people will not. In fact, looking at the one that's in your hand, so it's not going to be the rod ends. I mean, the rod ends are just plastic, so they're going to conform to whatever you do. But if you look at the threading on the link itself, some of them look like they, yeah, from what I'm seeing back here, some of them are going to thread on reverse thread style. And I think the one you're working on looks like it goes the other way.
That's crazy stuff. But now that I'm handling this stuff, I noticed that some of these have a little angle to them.
Yeah. So you'll want to keep that in mind as you create things.
Are they numbered?
And then some of them, if you look on here, have an angle like that, right? So there are some differences.
Okay, this one says 2 and this one says 3. This one says 1. Okay. This one says 1. This one says nothing.
So they're numbered. They are numbered, but they're not numbered in the instructions. So you'll just have to take a good look at the instructions as you're doing things. So for the one that you're building, my best, it looks like, yeah, that's the short one. You're just going to want the regular straight ones with no angles.
Everything get organized.
So I think most people, just so you know, Jackie, since this is a learning experience for you, most people would call this one like an angled broad end because it's straight and then angles. Mm-hmm. And then where those, the other ones, wherever they are, like this guy, the one you're holding, that would be called an offset.
Okay. So they all do the same thing?
All the angles? So,
yeah,
the angles and the offsets are going to look probably exactly the same. I mean, you know, each angle is going to be the same angle. Otherwise, they'd point it out, one would think. The straight ones are just going to be straight. The plot thickens.
I'm gonna need some color coding in here, you guys. Where are my Sharpies?
I can make Sharpies happen. So I wouldn't use that tool on there. Oh, really? Since you've got a hole in the link, you can actually take one of your tools. So maybe take the one that's the 1/16, which is the black, yeah. Slide that on in there, and then you'll really be able to get a good handle on it.
Cool.
But remember, check and see which way that's supposed to be threading on.
Alright, because I just want to muscle it, because yesterday it was...
So when you're, no, don't look at that, but look at this. And from the top, if the threads are going like this, then you need to turn it this way. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's so much easier.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I think we may be a little more zoomed in today than yesterday, because someone may have bumped this throughout the night, so forgive the camera jittering, folks. Make some slight adjustments to this so that you got a little more real estate to play with.
There's a little tiny gap there. Is that close enough?
If it feels tight, I'd say it's probably good.
Okay.
Because remember, we can always adjust them further once they are on the truck.
Looks like it wants another one of these.
Mm-hmm. So that one should thread on the normal way. Righty-tighty. Instead of lefty-tighty. Just madness.
Well, this one says 5 on it.
What's up, Eric?
Are they in a... That one said 7.
Right. So some of the that may just be their individual number from the parts tree.
I'm just making sure they weren't in some kind of order.
They may have put those little numbers on there so that during the molding process, if there was an issue, they could go back and say, hey, number 7's wrong, or whatever. They all looked the same to me, but I haven't sat in your chair.
Okie dokie. Now let's find out. These are all the same.
do look at some.
Let's see if my strategy for yesterday works. Yep. All right.
We don't have any licensing from Matthew McConaughey, so I think you can say all right.
All right, instructions. Tell me your secrets. Okay, there's a ridge that needs to do something. According to the instructions. Let's see here. This long one.
I think the ridge may be in place just to help you determine which one is regular thread and which one is reverse thread. That's a guess. I don't know.
I gotta memorize all these little stop signs.
What's up, Eric?
Freezing, where are you?
Yeah, where are you, Eric? Are you in town, or did you have to head to Oklahoma? Or is it just, well, I guess it is chilly outside.
Not freezing ass off chilly.
No, but for Texas, 40s is like subarctic. We're not used to that. It was 90 like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, hurts me.
It's outrageous.
I know, I wanted to ride my bike this week.
I mean, no one's gonna stop you from riding your bike. You're just gonna need one of those like full face, whatever.
Balaclava.
Yeah.
The Russians and the Serbs. And my parka.
Parka, yes.
My
You're gonna look
snowsuit.
like the kid from A Christmas Story riding a bike. I can't move my arms.
It's true. Oh.
Well, Eric, if you get done early and you want to come over and help with this, feel free.
Let's see.
Hey, Roman. Roman says he wants some tacos right now.
Right. I saw
Is
this.
today? Wait, is today the Taco Bell World Series Taco Day?
Oh.
Is that today or is it tomorrow?
You better find
I
out.
don't know when. What's the date? This is like.
Today's the 30th?
Is it? I think that's Taco Day.
Yep. Saw this thing on Reddit.
It is.
That said.
I'm not 100% positive, but I think that Taco Bell is doing their like free taco day because the guy stole some bases in the World Series.
Whoa.
I say the guy because I don't remember his name because I don't have time to watch that much sports, but you know. That means, I wonder what time, let's see what time tacos last. Because, whew, I gotta tell you. Actually, you know what? Jennifer is making tacos tonight.
Oh, fabulous.
Well, yeah, but that means that I don't want to go get tacos for like a snack because I'm having tacos for dinner. Although, can you really have too many tacos? I don't know.
That's
Taco
hard.
Bell.
I was going to tell you, I saw this thing on Reddit where somebody said they were walking past a kung fu studio or karate studio and they let the kids wear their costumes. And so they saw a taco beating up Kylo Ren. And it was hilarious. You should have been there.
Yes, for those of you that don't know, today is, let's see, Trey, I don't know how you pronounce his name, T-R-E-A? Tria? No, I don't know.
T-R-E.
T-R-E-A? Turner of the Washington Nationals
It's a tray.
stole a base against the Houston Astros, so everyone gets free tacos today. I don't know what the timing on that is. I feel like I saw, oh, here we go. From 2 to 6 p.m.,
Oh my gosh.
you can get free Doritos Locos tacos. So I think that's the tacos with the Dorito shell, which I've never had. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't know.
I think it's our patriotic duty to go get those tacos.
Patriotic duty.
You gotta do
You said duty.
for your country. You gotta do the duty.
You gotta do the duty.
That's what you gotta do.
Roman, this is, if you're asking about us and not someone else, because there's a lot of comments, this is Jackie, builds a CAPRA. So Jackie is our rock star employee that prior to yesterday had never assembled an RC vehicle or driven a crawler. So we thought it would be fun to let someone that is a total cringy noob build the latest kit. So rather than have someone that's done it and do an unboxing video with that, we let Jackie bust one open and tear into it. So if you hear her asking questions and you think to yourself, man, I feel like this guy should know what this is, well, it's because it's Jackie, and she might not know whatever it is.
And I'm not your guy, pal.
And I'm not your pal, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, dude.
I don't know that they use dude. So let's see. So Roman, this is the Axial CAPRA kit, if I didn't already say that somewhere along the line. So she's putting it together. She started yesterday. She got through both axles and half of the shocks. Did you finish the other shocks off camera?
Yes.
So you gotta tell people that. Because you may have had people that were hinging on the moment.
I totally
did. You?
Began, yes.
Oh, okay.
I did that.
Nobody told me. I wasn't paying attention. I can't be expected to pay attention to the things that are going on around me.
Because I had the new strategy I wanted to show everybody by using the desktop for popping that little
I did hear you mention that. Yeah. So you filled them with oil and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet.
See how much oil
Progress.
there's left?
I believe you.
So, oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, so...
Would that be a nasty trick to print out a label that says like VO5 hot oil and just put that in the shower?
Oh, that would be pretty brutal.
I like to play nasty pranks.
It would be like that scene on The Craft where the girl's hair starts falling out of the shower.
So that okay, yeah, I don't remember that particular scene, but that was like the three girls that, or maybe four, and like they're all witches or something, right? Except one of them kind of decides to be good or something.
Well, Feruza Balk just kind of freaks out.
Oh, right, her. By the way, I totally am in love with her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so if she's watching this, you know, I'm married, but I'd like to have your autograph. That's about as far as I can go with it.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. She was
the girlfriend of Waterboy.
Yes!
Yeah.
She was on the Island of Dr. Moreau. That was a good one.
I have not seen that.
You gotta get your Spooktober before it's too late. You got one day left.
Well, I think it's on the free Voodoo movies.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I know a lot of random stuff on them.
Oh, challenge accepted. I feel like I know a lot of random things as well.
It's like Apocalypse Now, but for like furries.
But for furries? Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, the Island of Dr. Moreau, yes.
Okay.
It's like Apocalypse Now, but for furries. Fight me.
Well, now it's not family friendly. I don't know.
Oh, the 90s were a different time.
Yes, they were.
Well,
so Roman says that he pays people to build his kits because he's afraid to build them himself. Hopefully, as Jackie said yesterday, hopefully this will inspire people to just go ahead and, knock one out themselves.
Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. Except for, like, some calluses. But this, having the holes in the insides and this guy to hold it still is a lot better than using this thing yesterday.
Well, that was the shock shafts, which are that's why I said they have specific pliers for those that kind of have just a whole lot of different size holes in them. They kind of look like wire strippers. Have you ever seen those?
Yes.
So they kind of look like those, but less holes, and they're thicker. I don't know how else to describe them. I forgot to look for some.
I think I'm doing this wrong.
I haven't been paying attention. I'm just having faith that you're doing it.
I'm doing something.
I agree, though. I think if you look at this drawing down here, for that long one that you made.
Yeah, that's my shorty one.
Right. Okay. So what are these two for?
Those have to be these guys. I think
So I
this
think.
guy is this guy.
Hear me out. Yes, that guy is that guy.
But it looks like this guy's the one.
Yes, I agree. That's what I was going to say. I think was your boo boo. So I believe that this here. Let's hold this so people can see it. So we're all on the same page, literally. Wah ha ha ha. So I believe that this drawing. So this is also represented by these two, and these two also represent this. So I think.
What? No, they all have to be different pieces.
No, they don't. Because look, everything we're assembling is going on the front axle, and there's only two of them that go on there. So all your other links and stuff. So what I would do is, I think you've got the short one correct. These two, I don't know if they'll be correct or not.
This is 55.
Right, and how long is this guy?
These are the.
If this one's 55, and those are longer, those can't be 55. So I think these
like
are
60s.
Yeah, so those are upper links. So we may have to take the rod ends off of those. Not a big deal. Yeah, I know. And then I think with that guy, I think you need to swap and put on the offsets.
Both sides?
Both sides, yeah.
Sure.
Because it's the tie rod. So, and you'll have to, I don't remember how they determined, let's see. So the side that has this little groove is the standard threaded side. So for anyone else that goes to build one of these, let me.
So I'm righty tighty.
There is a groove on this part on one side, right here, that does not exist over here. And the side with the little groove is your standard threaded side. The other side is reverse thread. So if you get into a position where you have to add or remove a rod end, you will know. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay.
My first instinct is just to smash.
Hulk
just
smash?
Smash all the things. All these little stop signs on the instructions instead of words. So if you've never put together anything from IKEA, just read the book first.
Well, they got some words up at the top. That's not a lot of information.
You call those words? Alright. Wait, there's different. Or there's only two different kinds. I thought there was 3 different kinds. One of them goes sideways, right? It seems like this guy and that guy are different.
Yes, I agree. So one is offset and one is angled. So for that long one, you want 2 offset.
There's only 2 angled then.
Roman wants us to recommend a first-time builder kit, or is the CAPRA pretty easy? Look, he was looking to build a CAPRA or an Axial blazer. What do you think?
I haven't built the blazer, but blazers are pretty sweet. Depends on what you want to drive.
Roman, I would say that I think a first-time builder could definitely successfully put this together. I do think there are a couple of spots in the instructions where some of the images are not exactly as clear as I'd like them to be, maybe. And I think for Jackie, because this is the first time she's done it, is a good gauge for, you know, what someone that has never built a truck before would run into. But at the same time, she's never built one and she's never driven one, made repairs, none of that. So I think even if you've just been driving them, you've probably picked up a little bit if you had to replace a rod end or, you know, changed out a knuckle, something here or there. I think that gives you just a little bit of general knowledge. So if you have that, that would be beneficial for this. Having built an SCX-10-2 kit, the Cherokee, when they first came out, that took Eric and I, and we're both seasoned builders. It took us a little while, but we got through it. I don't remember there being a whole ton of headaches or hiccups. There's always going to be something that you miss, where you put the wrong type of rod end on, or you do something wrong. And usually it becomes pretty apparent as you finish building it, and you're able to just go back and correct your error. Since all of the parts, are basically molded and built and they're done, you're not having to cut anything to size or anything like that. It's pretty hard. I say that, and I'm going to knock on the counter. It's pretty hard, I think, with most of these kits to make an error that you can't recover from. But I will say that, and I'm not even sure, if there's an Axial SCX-10-2 kit that includes the original AX10 transmission, I can't remember what the options are. So you've got the AX10-2 transmission that has the 2-speed in it. I'm sorry, not the AX10-2. There is no AX10-2. If you buy an SCX-10-2 and it comes with the original AX10 transmission, that's probably going to be the easiest kit to assemble, because the old style AX10 transmissions, which now come in some of the SCX-10-2s, is much easier to put together, I find, than the new SCX-10-2 transmission, which is a 2-speed. Ooh, that was a lot. Now I'm going to go look for part number to see if there's actually a kit that I would recommend for a first-time builder. Roman, I'd probably do the SCX-10-2 first, the Blazer, if I had to pick. For a new person, what's up?
I think this is the 126.
Okay.
So I think I got the angled ones and not the offset ones.
I agree with you, yeah. So it needs to be the offset ones and not the angled ones.
Third time's a charm on it.
Well, that's okay. You're learning.
I'm doing that stuff.
You've never put rod ends on anything. You got the balls in. They're already threaded now. It'll be easier to assemble next time.
You're so positive.
Try to be.
Alright. Better now than when the moment of truth comes. Alright, so this is the 126, and on the book it makes it look like there's two different rods, but I think it's just making sure that you want to have your eyelets lined up the same direction. Okay, that's my offset, that's my angle.
Hey, Roman, just to correct, I guess, myself on what I was saying earlier. From what I see on the Axial homepage, and there may be different kits available out there, it looks like all of the currently available kits are going to include the SCX-10-2 transmission. That doesn't make it impossible to build. It's just a couple more moving parts than the old original AX10 transmission. That Blazer that you're talking about, I actually don't see it available as a kit right now, but they may have released one at some point and I just don't remember. I don't know. There's so many kits out there available. Hallelujah. What a time for crawlers.
Better.
Definitely better.
These plastic threads, though, they're kind of fussy lining up.
Are they okay once they get started?
Sometimes you have to back it up and line it up.
Yeah.
But once it's lined up, it's
good to go.
Alright, get out of my life, you. Alright, page 15. Let's see what we got here. Okie dokie. So it looks like it wants this guy to be wonked. Like, this guy's supposed to be
correct.
flat, and this guy's not.
So their one right end is 90 degrees from the other one.
Wonked.
Fair enough. Maybe that could be your screen.
Dr. Wonk.
Or just wonked, I don't know.
Oh, wait.
That's you're good. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Once you get it on the truck, you can tweak it further, I would say.
Demand excellence. Alright. Let's see. Which guy are you? I'm gonna think this one.
Mm-hmm.
Aha! And then, alright, it's facing away.
Yes.
What? So the screws go into these?
Yes, it passed through there.
That's funky. Alright. How do I tell? Oh, because the line. Ha ha.
Well, that helps, yeah. Plus, also, you can think about why they would want to use an offset one, and it's so that as it turns, you get a little more clearance on the differential. But take a look at your instructions.
What? Is this trying to tell me that this needs
Yes, it is.
to go on the top like so?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I love chicken dinner. And then does that mean that I need the extra little screw?
Yeah. So they tell you right here the part number for the screw, and then over here they tell you the length. And if you're not sure what length it is, you've got the calipers that you can just guess, you can measure with.
That seems too long.
It does seem really long, so I would almost wonder if that
because
is
I
or
haven't.
is not. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Dangling. Whoop.
Is it the right size driver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just don't know if it's
Sure?
going all the way
No, I
through.
think that's too small.
Really?
Yeah.
I just. Oh, I totally. Oh. Look, it's lined up.
Yeah, it's just you gotta. You're threading the plastic, so it's gonna be as fun as the right ends. Or maybe it wasn't lined up.
All right, there's some resistance. Start. Just needed a wiggle.
Wiggle it just a little bit.
Yep. Oh, that's better.
People are gonna say, "What's that weird feedback?"
It's my Christmas bells. There's a special place in hell for people that put out Christmas decorations before Halloween. So That's my little funny inside joke with myself today.
Okay.
Okay, so there's only one of these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shorty, this guy. Alright.
Yes. Excellent observation.
Thank you.
I almost said Wilson. Watson.
Indeed.
To adjust this again slightly so that it's a little more overhead maybe.
You could always pull the short stool out of the garage.
The short stool?
Yeah, the chair I brought.
For what?
For over the shoulder action.
No, I think this is good. I just wanted to, it was catching the top of your shoulder. So it just needed to be tweaked. And I did play around with trying to find a way to show close-ups of things. And the best thing that I could come up with is you basically put the part on the counter and like hold the camera really, really close to it, because otherwise if you try and hold it up, it seems like it just focuses on the background and it never gets like a good clear picture. And that could just be a limitation of the camera, I don't know. Sean, we forgive you for going and doing dishes. It's totally all right. As these builds tend to be a little lengthy, I'm sure that most people are probably checking in and out. And because again, it is the middle of the day, most people probably cannot tune in to watch this live stream. And that's totally fine, because we will replay this on YouTube and it's always available on Facebook. I think the only difference being the YouTube version may be, there was some difference, I can't remember. I don't know if it's more clear. It looks like it's a little more clear to me, but I know we can clean up the video a little bit before we put it on YouTube. We actually posted yesterday's episode and we did that a little bit. So. Sean, she didn't decide necessarily on a servo. I have a spare HS7954SH that was sitting on the workbench above us that we're just gonna go ahead and donate to the project. I wasn't planning on doing electronics today, but since it's in the instructions, well, there you go.
Ugh, it hates me. Let me get this guy to line up. Oh, that's why.
What?
It just wasn't long enough.
Oh. So remember, you can, so that's a AX235109, which is supposed to be 14 millimeters long. So you can always bust out your calipers. What is that?
Something fell out.
What is that?
I don't know.
That's interesting. What did that fall out of?
It fell out here.
Huh. We got just a little bit of machining left over from, that must have been in the metal ball from the rod end, since everything else is plastic. That may have also been contributing to your issue. So is this the screw we used yesterday to help thread the shocks?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take this off, that way it doesn't confuse us.
But see, this is 109, and
Right.
that was the 118.
Right, because you need the longer one because the other side went through 2 rod
Yep.
ends.
But that one is a 18, and this one should be a 14.
Right.
So it should have been not that guy.
Did you accidentally use a 14 where you were supposed to use the 18?
Oh, well, the 18 was on that side.
That's what I'm saying. Are you sure that that's an 18 and not a 14?
Well, yeah, because it's the longest one.
Okay, I don't know. So you're saying that they did not give you a 14?
Whoa. I was thinking, because look,
We'll measure that guy.
maybe that little piece of machining was just in the way.
Yeah, could be. But you can always measure the screw that you have in your hand to make sure that it's 14 millimeters long. And when you measure it, all you measure is so they determine the length by the threads, right? So yeah, it's 14.
You see?
So it was the little piece of machining left over in the ball end that was giving you fits. So that's the problem.
Fitting. All right. Yeah. Can you see this?
I don't know if I'll actually be able to see that. Because like I said, the zoom, the focus, if you will, is...
It's like when you sharpen a pencil.
Yeah, well, it looks like little metal pencil shavings. So I'm sure that's just from them being made.
Trying to ruin my life?
Exactly. That's like 3 minutes of your life you're not going to get back. Lawsuits.
I'm very old now. Alright, go back to your home. Now, that's better. Resisting
Hey, Justin.
urge to smash. Alright, does that look alright?
So far, yeah.
Ta-da! Alright, so page 15. That's cool. So looks like I'm gonna need this other side.
Justin, we are still working on the command kit rings. I am hoping to have some news on those by Monday. So I will be sure to add that to my list of things to talk about for the Monday night live stream. We do that every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we do a giveaway. So if you have not checked that out before, feel free to join us.
Okay, I don't know if you guys want to see this book situation. But I'm on this part.
Yeah, see, it's like it never wants to focus. Focus for like half a second, and then it just says like, nah. Although we can manually adjust it. The autofocus seems to work well from, what is it, like 2-3 feet? But I think once you get in close, it just kind of gets crabby. You know, the autofocus on that camera may work better. I don't know. You may be able to just hold something up right here on selfie mode to show people, if you want to. It's up to you.
Okay, now I've got this little dude. It looks like the shelf goes in. There's a little notch.
What? It goes in.
Towards me. Like so.
I believe you would be correct. Yeah. So you want to check the screws that you're using for that.
Four times 2.
So look at the length and the shape of the screw. But look at the part number. So this doesn't give you a whole lot of detail. So look at your part number, and then look over here and see what you got.
These dudes.
Yes. Another thing that might tip you off to that is because the holes are countersunk.
And they've got the bevel.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, are these flathead and those are button in?
Correct. Well, so those are flathead. Button heads are look like this. This is kind of a specialty flathead. I'm not actually really sure what you would call that one. We don't sell them, so I don't know.
The world needs answers.
Right? No, we can find out. I don't remember. I'm sure there's a name. No, not panhead. So sometimes button heads are also called panheads, and oh, things get confusing.
World of Screws is a large, mysterious world.
Indeed.
Especially when you start getting into decking. Oh, jeez.
Right.
I did it.
So just for everyone's education, Axial calls these screws oversized flat hex. The big ones.
Pretty. That's flush. Ta-da! Everybody go home.
Wrap it up!
Alright, page 15. There's information for how to apply the servo. And then the tiny screws. I'm gonna think that the wire comes from the inside.
Well, so don't worry about the wire. What you want to focus on is screwing the servo on to the mount, which is what they're showing you. Yeah. No, you ruined it.
Ah, I knew it. Sepulchre.
So those are probably going to be more fun to force into the plastic kind of deal.
Oh, I read somebody was like, good thing I brought my can over, because it's time to open a can of whoop ass.
You open a can of whoop ass on the oversized flat hex head screws.
That's right.
Now, I guess for anyone that's building this kit and they don't have their servo yet, obviously you just skip this step. But since we have a servo, we can just go ahead and put it together. I wonder, did they include, let's see.
Now, is that gonna have enough clearance?
Well, that's going to go on the front. But one thing I did not think about is their servo horn, wherever it went. It looks like, let me double check this before I talk out loud. Yeah, so this would thread into this. I'm not sure if that hole is threaded or passed through. It looks bigger, so I'm guessing this drops in. Yeah. So this servo horn is gonna need we'll need a different screw and a nut on the back, or we could just put that servo horn on however we want to do it, but we'll get there.
This bracket is a little wobbly. Like,
What do you mean?
Well, when I put the first screw in, it was just kind of wiggling around this plastic bracket.
Looks like it's on there solid.
Well, yeah, but just, you see that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it is plastic. So the original Axial trucks that they used to sell when they'd mount the servo right to the axle actually came with a metal plate, and they'd still have plastic little servo mounts, but the base portion of it was a metal plate. So that probably added a little more rigidity to it. But I suspect that once you get all 4 of those bolts in there and the servos in there nice and tight, it's not going to move a whole lot.
Ta-da!
Splendid.
Okie dokie. Now it's telling me that I need to put a screw there. Like, what?
Yeah, so what they're saying is, well, no, I'm going to figure it out one more.
Like that?
Yep.
What?
But like I said, this servo horn is not the diameter of that hole is a little bit bigger than this. So that one was made with the intention of an M3 screw passing through it. Whereas this one is made for an M3 screw to thread into it. So you got 2 options. Either you can take that servo horn off and put this one on, follow the instructions explicitly, or we can get you a slightly longer screw that will pass through this, and then we put a nut on the back of it.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Like, what?
What
What?
do you mean, what?
How
Other
are you
way.
talking about?
You had it right the first time.
Hmm.
Well, if we used that horn to put a nut on, we'd have to, yeah. You'd basically do it like that. You put the screw through, screw it in as much as you can, and then you'd hold the nut on the back side, probably with these little pliers, and then see what happens. Or you could just pop that servo horn off right now, unscrew it, slap that bad boy on. You're going to have to find the right adapter, which is what these things are. So those are for different spline counts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they only have 2.
They're not the same. How can you tell? Oh, there's numbers. 23 and 25. Ta-da!
Right. So where's the 24? Because that's what we actually need.
What? That's all there was.
I believe you. Is this? Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Why do they only have 2 of those? Let's look in the parts real quick.
This says it's a 24.
Right, because so high tech, that high tech is a 24 spline, also called 24 tooth servo. So your little design has to have 24 splines.
That makes sense.
But different servos have different splines. Some of them have 23, some of them have 25. And even within the 23 and the 25, there are actually some slight differences that can make things really fun when you're trying to make servo horns and arms. I thought there'd be a parts list in here. I don't see one. Is there one in the back? Lots of stuff. Exploded views. I don't see a, yeah. Well, here are the instructions. 23 or 25. So why don't they have one for a 24? What am I not understanding? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why there's not a 24 tooth adapter in there.
So, will we have to change this guy?
I don't know. So a lot of servos come with their own arms anyway, and most of them. So this is just an old arm that I had on there. I don't even know why, but most of them come with nicer, newer arms anyway. But what we'll do is we'll use the one that was on there. I will get you a little bit of a longer screw than whatever they're supplying, and we'll just put a nut on the back.
It seems like this guy's got
Crazy thick. You know what? So the screw that they gave you might actually be long enough to go all the way through. All we need is for it to poke out the back a little bit. So all you might need is a little M3 nut. So let's do this. Grab whatever screw that you're supposed to use.
I think it's this guy.
Hey Justin, we are working on finishing up some more of our black steel parts. The front knuckles, the C's, and the portal covers. That's going to be the next thing that we get back in stock for the TRX4. I don't think we have anything new for those in the pipeline anytime soon. What are you looking for?
Well, it says I need an A115.
Well, don't worry about that screw. So what we want to look for is this guy, because this would go through the rod end, and then you have to, so you follow the line, come across, come back over, and then it would go through that. So we want the AXA116.
It's the 12.
So grab you a 12, put it through the rod end. Now see how far it goes through our servo horn.
Wait a minute, I gotta put that screw back on first.
Not yet. Nope, you don't have to do that first. And you don't want to do that first because this will allow you to get to the, possibly put a nut on that. Make sure you have the splines facing correctly. Oh yeah, we can put a nut on there. So spin it so that the splines in the arm would be facing the servo. There we go. Yep. Like that. Okay, but don't put it on yet. Yeah, that's what I meant. So now you can thread that in, or maybe it does have a little bit of thread in there. So we may not need the nut. We may want one later, but later on we'll put on one of our clamping servo horns and you won't have to worry about that.
Well,
Keep going,
should I
yeah.
go
You're good.
all the way tight?
Yeah.
Just wanted
You don't have to go Godzilla tight because it's just plastic. Like I said, later on we'll put on one of our clamping servo horns. So all we need to do right now is just get something on there.
Seems like that's all it's gonna go.
Is it slipping?
What?
Or is it good? It's good?
It's good,
Good. Okay. So now you can put that on the servo, and I would have it face down.
Face down, what are you talking
Yep,
about?
like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, Willis.
That makes sense. Okay.
Is that the seam? Is that the screw that was on there? Yeah. Okay. There's no washer or anything that was behind that?
Nope.
All right. Well, it'll get replaced anyway. So. Okay, so there you go. Ta-da!
So, all right, cool.
Make sense?
Nope.
No? Okay.
We'll come together.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Things are happening.
All right, so that's
You're
the
done with that page.
edge of page 15. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba. All right, D3.
So I think you can set this guy aside. Now we're starting to get into the fun stuff where you're going to get to assemble more links, and then if you look a little ahead, you'll be attaching the shocks and the rod end, the links to that axle. So you will probably be attaching shocks and links to both axles and then set them aside completely and build the chassis. and then they'll probably have you assemble most of the chassis, drop the transmission in after you assemble that, and then you'll attach all the links and everything to the chassis, and then it'll look like a truck.
All right.
Yeah. You good with your water?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This doesn't have to go all the way over there, though.
No, it doesn't have to go all the way over there. I just meant set it aside wherever.
Okie dokie. So, are these guys?
Those are those guys, I think. You'd have to measure. What does it say? Yeah, so that's going to be the longest ones. Nothing wrong with double checking.
Nice. 90.5. Okay. So, you want me to what now? Okay. The rest of these are angled, I believe. Oh, that one's straight. Those are straight. Okay. Get out of here. There's that reverse threading. Did you watch that hamster cafe that I sent you?
Yeah.
Whoever thought of that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't see. Now you gotta explain that to everybody now. You can't just tell me. People won't know what we're talking about.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the
Hamster pancakes?
YouTube. But somebody, or I guess there's like a bunch of people that have teeny tiny little kitchens and teeny tiny little ingredients, and they'll make teeny tiny little meals for their teeny tiny little hamsters, and it's ridiculous. So I just looked up tiny meals for hamsters on YouTube, and it popped right up. And if you guys like that, you gotta look into Cooking with Doug. It's kind of brilliant.
Cooking with Doug or Dog?
Doug. It's this old Japanese lady with a poodle, and the poodle narrates the cooking show.
Okay.
Except it's kind of old, so the dog passed away.
Well, now it's all sad.
Yeah, but she has a little stuffed animal in its place.
Oh, God.
So it's still being narrated from the afterlife.
Yeah.
And the recipes are brilliant. It's very peaceful.
Does it sound like, what was that lady that used to have the hand puppet that was a sheep?
Pork chop?
Pork chop, yeah.
No, much better. Because the dog is like the chef, and then the human doesn't talk at all.
Interesting.
It's pretty great.
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop, yes.
Not pork chop, yeah.
Oh,
I was like, man, that doesn't sound right.
some kind of tasty chop.
Either way, it looks delicious.
Well, that show was on, Wishbone was on too. Remember that one?
Was the dog?
Yeah, the little
right?
dog that was like,
Yeah, a little terrier or something.
yeah, like a Jack Russell.
Yeah, maybe. I vaguely remember that.
What, they solve mysteries or something? I can't remember.
That sounds about right.
Alright, so these guys are opposites. Looks pretty good.
You good?
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah, it's hard to see, huh?
Yeah.
I believe you were. So I believe the links are going to go on the inside and the shocks will go on the outside.
It doesn't tell me what that is.
What is?
Well,
That's what you just assembled.
they're just next to each other? I'm not supposed to...
They're not attached yet, yeah. They're
Okay.
going to go to something, but they're just giving you an idea of like where they're going. That's what it looks like.
That, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Shocks on the towards the outside. Yeah.
And then this, like so?
Yes. Oh wait.
It's pretty weird.
No.
It's what?
Flip it 180. Yeah, there you go.
Alright.
Thanks for joining, Francisco. That's funny. What's up, Ben? Thanks for joining us. How are things at Apple? You should meet Ben.
Hi, Ben.
I can't remember his exact business title, but Ben is also wise and experienced in the way of the culinary arts.
Ah, delightful. My biggest claim to fame in culinary is that I got my mayonnaise on the first try
Nice.
in my Garmager final.
You and Ben are the only ones that know what you just said.
Making mayonnaise is awful, and everybody hates it.
Hates mayonnaise?
Making mayonnaise.
Oh, making it, yeah. So, Ben and I were friends when we were kids. Well, we're still friends now, but we were best friends when we were kids. And we started each other's RC addiction, I guess. And I had a Nyko Thunderbolt Fun Buggy, which was like the Toys R Us version. It was an expensive toy, but it was still toy grade. Ben had a Falcon, I believe, and we would race those things around and crash into each other and all that stuff. But since his was hobby grade, he could actually replace some of the parts on it. And mine was a Toys R Us grade, which meant if I broke something, you basically had to buy a whole new car. So eventually, I purchased one of these. I'll just roll into the screen. Yay! Original RC10 gold pan. Woohoo! I still have one, Ben.
Look at those shocks.
Yeah, fancy blingy. So we both got those, and I can't tell you how much money we spent crashing those things. I mean, I know a lot of people spent a lot of time like at a track, racing them, that kind of stuff. And we did some of that. There was a track in Laplace, Louisiana that I think we both went to. And we'd race them, but we spent a lot of money replacing, especially those front aluminum pipes that reinforce it. We put that local hobby shop, you know, I don't know, not out of business. We made their business. It was fun. And that was when I was telling you yesterday, the first RC that I assembled, and I had to get my dad to help with the speed control, and I had to go in reverse. That was it.
Nice.
And now that's not the original one that I had. I picked this up a couple of years ago, but it's a replica. I mean, it's still the original kit. It's just not the original one that I had. Which, I can't even remember what we did with this. Hey, Mike. This is Jackie Builds a Capra. So, Jackie, our all-star employee that until yesterday had zero experience assembling any sort of RC, is building the latest kit from Axial for us.
And I'm doing all right.
She's doing a good job, and she's learning a lot, so that's the good stuff.
I haven't had to smash anything yet. So.
She has not had to rage smash anything, yes, that's always a plus.
All right, page 16. Now we are on D4. Front upper link assembly.
Good luck on your test, Francisco. Sean says he did not know you could make homemade mayo.
Oh yeah, it's basically the same as a
It's like eggs and what?
hollandaise.
I've made hollandaise.
It's oil instead of vinegar.
Huh.
Yeah, you get the egg yolk, combines your emulsification. That's another story.
Yeah, I've made hollandaise, and I've, being from New Orleans, have made gumbo, so I know how to make a roux, light and or dark.
Nice.
I haven't done that in a while though, because you know, these kids in Texas,
These kids and their
they don't
music.
understand New Orleans eating. I think they literally think that I grew up like in a swamp shack like the Water Boy, you know.
You didn't?
No. I have eaten alligator, but not on little tiny crackers with their heads popping up or whatever it was that they had. That was ridiculous.
Oh, right. I'm on D4. And my logic tells me I can do this.
Well, but yeah, you maybe unscrewing one.
No problem.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, this is looking good.
Yeah, but mayonnaise, you do it cold, where hollandaise you do it hot. So you just have to whip the crap out of it like zabayon, which I never get.
Sorry, I was reading while you were talking. What?
You ever had zabayon?
I don't know what's that.
It's an egg white wine sweetened dessert with sugar, and it's you just have to
Maybe?
beat the crap out of it.
By the time I get to dessert at a place that's fancy enough that they would have something like that, I'm probably drunk, if I'm honest. So I may not remember it. I'd know that it was delicious, but I wouldn't know what I was eating. Mike, we do not recommend that you use Loctite on our B-Box at all. Now I say that you can use Loctite to insert the faux screws. So the screws that actually thread into the beadlock ring itself, those you can Loctite. That's fine. Because you can always pull the ring out and get to the back side of those if one of them gets stuck. But you never ever want to Loctite the hardware that is actually holding the ring to the wheel. And if you haven't assembled any of our wheels, for anyone that's listening, that'll make sense once you start to assemble it. But the rings have 24 screws, 18 of them only thread into the ring, 6 of them pass through the ring and thread into the wheel. So anytime you have to take a wheel apart, you're only having to mess with 6 screws per wheel if you're wanting to change weights or foams or get water out, all of that stuff. I hope that makes sense. Probably need to do another updated video on our wheels, since I think the last one that I made was done like in a cave.
What?
With terrible lighting. Like the lighting was bad, the video quality was bad. None of it, no part of it do I remember it being good.
Not your Halloween Hellfire wheels?
Right, yeah, no. Some people apparently did not like that. Yeah, right?
Ridiculous.
Oh no, I know, you know.
Spooktober.
As the whole point was just to have fun, and some people I think took it the wrong way.
Like, where's the wheels?
Yes, yeah. I think some people were just joking, but then some people seem to genuinely be irritated that we did that. And that's fine, to each his own, but you know. I think I said to somebody, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Because it's from The Shining, and it's Halloween time, and
Right.
that movie's probably playing on like AMC or TNT over and over and over.
You know, there's a made-for-TV version.
Yes, with what was his name? The guy
guy
that was on the
from
Wings.
Wings? Yeah.
Oh, I remember watching it. I don't.
The
yeah.
end was so different. It's pretty weird.
I remember I saw it, but I don't remember.
The kid graduated from high school, the dad
Oh,
died, and the black guy lived, and then the ghost dad showed up at the kid's high school graduation, and they were all like...
Well, they've got the second part of the original Shining, I guess, is coming out now, right?
What?
Yeah, it's called, anybody remember what that's called? It's like Dr. something. Dr. Sleep, maybe? And it's about how Danny, wasn't that the kid's name?
Yeah.
Right? So Danny Torrance, yeah. I think it's him older, and he's played by Jason Bateman, maybe?
What?
Or no, no, not Jason Bateman. No,
weird.
no, not him. I can't remember the guy's name. Ewan McGregor?
What?
Yeah, I think that's who it is. Somebody. And he's all grown up, and now he's met some other people that also have the shine or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's only one preview that I've seen. But...
Have you seen this?
What?
People give their moms or their grandmas pictures of Obi-Wan, and they think it's Jesus.
Oh gosh, no.
They're like, haha. My grandma's been praying to Ewan McGregor all this time.
Have you seen the candle that I got, Jennifer?
What? No.
I'll go get you the one that I got for Kirsten. I think that's closer.
I hope it's Christopher Walken.
No, but I think you can get those.
If anybody wants to go down memory lane, look up Fatboy Slim's Weapon of Choice video with Christopher Walken. He's actually a talented dancer, and he choreographed it himself, which is amazing.
So, yeah. So my friend David sets up a booth at ACL every year, and he sells various things. So I go and I help him. And while I'm there, I get to see lots of different things that they sell at ACL. And
Yeah.
since my daughter is a big fan of The Office, came across this candle for her.
Yay.
If anyone is interested in something like this, which obviously this one is Dwight from The Office, but
Look at his little girly hand.
yeah, you can look up Illuminidal. I'll let you figure out how to spell that. But they have, I mean, basically they take that candle and they put different faces on it. You know, like there's Snoop Dogg, Christopher Walken,
Yes.
whatever you can think of, they've got one. It's a good gag gift.
I've got a friend with a Dolly Parton shrine. She's got the Dolly ones.
Nice. Nice. Sean wants to know how many steps are left.
You're on page 17.
Yeah, we're on page 17, and it doesn't look like we're halfway through the instructions yet. So my revised timetable for completing this book, of course, yeah, some of it's just exploded views and all that, so.
Okay. There's 33 pages.
It's 33 pages of instruction?
Yeah.
Actual assembly instruction, and we're on page 17. So we're about halfway through.
We discovered yesterday this kit doesn't come with tires.
That's right, yeah. So if anyone's looking at this kit, there are some things it does not come with.
The servo, the light electronics motor, and the tires, right?
So let's see. I will sneak around on this side so I'm not in your way. But on the side of the box, needed to complete. I don't know if it's going to zoom in on this or not. Focus! Is it ever going to focus on that?
No. You need a 3-channel transmitter, servo receiver, ESC, electric motor, micro servo for rear dig feature, tires, battery charger, AA batteries for transmitter, and paint.
There you go. So lots of things that you actually need to completely finish.
Also, the little dudes' bodies are in here.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Well, that's all to be painted, so when we get there, we'll get to that. I don't know that we'll get to that anytime soon, but we'll get to it. And that's fine. The main thing that we want to show is basically, you know, the main truck.
These are the last pieces left, so I'm just going to go ahead and wing it.
Fair enough.
The reverse threading is weird. Feels unnatural.
Lefty tighty?
No. Yep, Texas food is the best. I'm a solid Tex-Mex person. The border crossed us kind of family. And man, Mexican food can't hold a candle to Tex-Mex. And especially, oh geez, California Mexican food? No.
Cal-Mex?
Oh no.
I don't know if I've ever gone all the way to California and tried Cal-Mex.
It's not good.
Which, by the way, if no one has ever said Cal-Mex before, let me go ahead and just say copyright Locked Up RC 2019.
Alright, little break dancer.
Might work better on the mat. It's harder than the mat's harder, I think, than the wood. The wood's actually a fairly soft wood. That's why I've dented it in places.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving little rings now. Sorry.
No, now I'm gonna have to sand it all down and start over. No, that's not gonna happen. It's just gonna get filled up with dirt.
I like this way better than the flyers. It's less terrifying.
I guess you just get used to something and then you know, I don't know.
The terror reversal.
Yeah.
All right, page 17. Okay, I need my straight dudes. These are more like so. And they have.
Sean says he loves deer meat. Is that popular out there? His favorite thing he can cook is homemade Jamaican food.
Oh, nice. Yeah, jerk.
I like dirty bananas. Does that count as Jamaican food? It's the first time I went to Jamaica. I had a drink called. Have you never had a dirty banana?
No.
It's like banana liqueur, some light rum, some dark rum, and a banana.
That sounds delicious.
It's really good. It's not really a good wintertime drink, but hey, you know, there may be something else in there that I can't remember because that was like forever ago that I went. But
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay, Jamaica's fun.
Yeah. I do like the jerk chicken and stuff.
Yeah.
Jerk shrimp, whatever.
Deer meat.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people around here that hunt. Maybe not so much in Austin proper because Austin is a fairly, what do they call it? Like the blue dot in the middle of the red state.
The oasis.
Austin is fairly urban. No, urban? I don't know.
Is
that right?
Yeah, but there's still tons of well.
There's still lots of people around, you know, the area that go hunting and all that stuff for sure. I don't know what they mainly hunt. I haven't been duck hunting since I was a kid, and I grew up in New Orleans, so we go duck hunting in South Louisiana and alligator hunting.
Cool.
Alligator hunting. It's not really hunting because we're putting out traps with chickens on them and driving around on a boat, shooting the alligators in the head when they're stuck on the trap, and then throwing them in your little pirogue. And let me tell you, when you're like a 12-year-old kid and there's a 13-foot alligator in the boat that's still moving, even though it's been shot in the head, it freaks you out.
Yeah, Lord.
Good times. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for those memories. No, I actually had a lot of fun doing that. I had more fun doing target practice, though, than actually shooting things. I enjoyed the challenge of hitting a moving target. I didn't care if it was a duck. It could have been a bottle or whatever, but yeah. There's definitely plenty of people around here that enjoy deer meat and whatever.
Well, just white-tailed deer are just not that tasty for the things that you can get around here, like dove, wild boar, or even like stock, like ranches that feed their white-tailed deer. Now, if you can get axis deer, that's the tasty stuff.
Access?
Axis.
Like Access and Allies, or Access like he accessed the computer
Like,
lab with his ID card?
Axis of evil.
Okay, yeah, Access. So, okay, yeah.
Axis deer. Those are tasty. But wild boar is super good. And dove.
I tried to get ram.
Right?
Yeah. Last year, when we were having a little Super Bowl get-together, so it was the Patriots versus the Rams, and since Jennifer is a Patriots fan, I tried to get some ram sausage made. I thought that would be fun, but I had to have a minimum of 200 pounds made. I was like, yeah, there's gonna be like 10 of us. That's a bit much.
Yeah,
so,
you put it in your freezer.
Had to pass on the lifetime supply of ram sausage.
Right, yeah, and deer usually go in the sausage because it's gamey and it's not that fatty, so you're gonna have to put some pork belly in there or something grind up.
Oh yeah, no, it was like a professional sausage drinking place, and I called them. They quoted me, and it was a fair price. I just, I understand they only want to make a certain amount of it, but I was like, look, the Super Bowl's coming up. There are other people you can probably market this to. They didn't go for it.
Oh.
But that's okay. So what do we got?
All right, we're on page 17.
Yeah.
I got these little dudes and these bigger little dudes. And so
links and links.
I did this part already, that part already, and now I'm on this part right
Okay.
now.
So you're going to be putting some of the littler little dudes on your axle housing, I believe.
It looks like the robot that kills the dudes on RoboCop. You know, the guy that stands up. It's like an AT-AT.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You have 10 seconds to comply?
Oh, jeez. I watched RoboCop a few years ago, and now I'm scarred for life. I don't know what part of me as a little kid thought that movie was good, but I can't even watch that 70s show anymore. Because Red Foreman is the bad guy. Jeez. It's brutal.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Brutal.
He's my favorite character on that 70s show.
Yeah.
Just
He used
a jerk.
to be. Now he's a murderous jerk. Ooh, he's brutal.
RoboCop?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching it. I remember what Murphy gets killed on like for whatever happened. I don't know. Not killed. I guess he gets mangled, and then they rebuild him as a
He
robot.
didn't get mangled.
There's some
Red
sort of
Foreman
drug.
pumps him full of lead.
There's some sort of drug that they're all like addicted to or something that they're trying to stop. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I watched it, and then I was like, I don't know why I'm so nostalgic today, everybody.
Hey, Sean. Yeah, we will cut this off around 2 hours again. Try to keep it to a reasonable amount of time so that our computers don't explode.
I tried to show my old friend Terminator 2, and I was like, this is a culturally significant movie. And she didn't even watch the whole thing. I was so upset. We're not friends anymore. Alright. That doesn't look like it needs to be connected anymore. This guy right here needs to go over here. Oh, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So I was wondering when these get put on, and if whatever reason we need to put more oil in them or anything, or like, you know, you said like that's an adjustable tension thing, like
Yes.
how do you decide that that's what you want to do?
Adjust the tension. You have to drive the truck and see if it handles the way that you want it to. But since you have zero experience driving them, you'll probably want to drive a whole bunch of different trucks and see which one you feel like fits your particular driving style. So some people like really heavy trucks, some people like really light trucks, some people like suspensions that are completely droop suspensions, 50/50s, but like it's all over the place. It's personal preference. So for the time being, probably everything that we subject you to or whatever, we'll probably shoot for middle of the road kind of stuff, and then you can give feedback and say, hey, I wish when I did whatever it did this, and we can try to tune it to make that happen. It's gonna be like Days of Thunder. You remember that movie?
What? Oh, it sounds familiar.
So let's see. Tom Cruise is a NASCAR, or he's driving NASCAR, and he used to drive open wheel cars, and he was like a champion, but he's not automotively inclined, I guess. I don't want to say mechanically inclined, but you know, there's a whole lot of different things that go into tuning a race car, whether it's, you know, tight or loose, and he didn't know what any of this stuff was, and so they had to explain it all to him. So that's basically what it's going to be like for you. So that'll be your homework. Go watch Days of Thunder. There's only about 5 minutes of it that's going to be applicable to what we're doing. That's fine.
I've seen Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yeah. Very different movie.
Yeah. That booty sweat, y'all. Alright. This doesn't want to cooperate. I need to put this like that.
Like that, yeah.
And then the other guy needs to be lined up.
Well, worry about that one. Worry about the part you're putting in first. And remember, you can always adjust them.
That's right.
Yeah. You're good.
No.
You're not?
No, this needs to be that one.
Oh yeah, I can't see it. Well, that's what I said. Don't sweat that. And
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better. And then this guy. What?
Yeah, so one of those has to be rotated 100 degrees.
So Makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. What? Is it that one? No. Okay. I think so.
Booyah. We went through those 2 pages quickly,
Oh, thank you.
I think. Yep, uppers.
Is that what this is?
Those
Or
are
is
the
it
lowers.
these guys?
Those are the uppers, yeah.
Mm,
So same kind of thing as what you did in the other axle.
Come on.
For some reason, all of the shocks and links and everything flopping around is making me think of like trying to work with a whole raw chicken. I don't know why.
I believe that would be his knee. Alright. Get out of my face, page 19. Right.
Totally new bag of stuff.
That was D. And now we're on E. What? E.
Eee!
Okay. I don't know, maybe like a little lobster or something.
Something. I don't know what I'm
Maybe a little squid.
Or that, yeah.
Put him in a little baggie or something? Put him
Yeah.
somewhere safe?
Yep.
That's not safe at all.
That's perfectly safe. We actually won't end up needing those. I will throw them in one of the bins, but we won't need that. What?
Sure, let me take care of that for you.
Yeah. No, put it in my hands. I'm on it. Out.
Wait a minute, what's this? Did this just come out of here? I think it did.
Mm-hmm. Bag E2. Ooh. It's the next page. Yeah, you want to hold off. I don't know. What's your...
I'm on E.
E1. There we go.
E1. E3.
I will say, so far, compared to a lot of the instruction kits, I guess, instruction manuals, not kits. Ooh. Compared to a lot of the instruction manuals that I've seen so far, maybe it's not just the manual, but it seems like they did a pretty good job correctly getting the parts in sequential bags. With some of the other kits that I've put together, you had to open like bag E and bag G at the same time, and it didn't always make exact sense. I'm not saying that was necessarily Axial stuff in the past, but that's a heck of a skid plate. Yep, lots of options for mounting links.
Is that my boat?
That's your skid plate. So the boat sides will be different. Yeah.
That's the boat?
Yep, that's your boat side.
Alright, page 20. E1. Looks like I need a pin. I don't know what this guy is. Bushing. What is it? A little wind up?
I don't think it's wind up power. I don't know what all these things are yet. I've never assembled one of these. Obviously those are bearings. We got a spring. It's probably a slipper clutch or something. Of course, right when I say, well, I guess all of this is bag E, to be fair, but we've got E1, 2, 3, 4. So you may end up having to open bag E1, 2, 3, 4 and fish parts out of all of them, because that's what this is looking like to me.
Yeah, because that.
Yeah, that thing is definitely, the gear is definitely in bag E4.
Is this supposed to be like this, or is one stuck inside the other?
I think one's just sitting in there.
Really?
I think. Yeah, because that's a 4x8x3. Yeah, you're good. You can use the tool and pop it out.
I don't want to destroy you, but I will.
Maybe that's not the best tool to use. I'll get the job done. There you go.
Alright. Okie dokie. Little weird things.
That's probably all parts for the dig.
Oh, I got another clip.
Yep.
Go down there with the last guy. You ever seen people get their little chip implanted in there?
Yes, I actually saw
Hands.
something on that in the news the other day about the body hacking people that were getting chips and everything installed.
I knew a girl that had it, and she said she loves it.
So what does she use it for?
It's like a debit card. Because they have like the touch and scan
So
type.
then what happens if somebody steals her debit card number?
Then you just, it's like if you put a chip on your dog or something, then you can just reprogram it.
Yeah, but nobody's using the chip number on my dog to go buy 6 Xboxes at Walmart.com and have them delivered to a fake P.O. box. I mean...
That's suspiciously specific.
Maybe that's happened to me before. Welcome, Dustin. Welcome, Brian. If you guys don't already know, because I can't remember who joined us yesterday, this is Jackie Builds a CAPRA. Jackie, our employee that up until yesterday had 0 experience assembling RCs.
What up, you guys?
So we're on page 20 out of, I think you said 33 pages that have actual instructions that we need to follow. We'll have to remember that for tomorrow. Maybe about midway through, we'll bust in and kind of update people.
Nice.
Because I pretty sure we're not going to get all of this done in the next 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
These are different. This guy. They're flatheads, but
Different lengths.
where'd that guy come from?
It's a shim. You know that. I don't know what I'm telling you.
You're my narrator. Those look different.
They are. They are different diameters. So one's M3, the other one looks like it's probably M2.5. That looks M3.
What?
One of them looks different. So we'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
the
Maybe
head's
maybe
a
they
little
sent us the
bigger.
wrong one, or maybe it's meant to be that way. Just check
No.
it. Look through
Don't
here
do
real
that.
quick. Maybe this will. Yep. So at some point we're going to need one M2.5 by 12 flathead. That is on page 22.
All right, that's that
We're
guy.
on 20, so you don't need it right now.
Let's split nodes. Those aren't the same. These are longer. What?
It's possible, yeah.
Two.
It would be difficult to make a kit using all of the same size and length screws.
It's horrifying.
Well, that's why you got calipers. So you can measure.
Also horrifying.
Hey, Eric. Yep. Jackie is working on the beginning of the transmission. Page 20, E1, I guess. Transmission assembly. Do you speak French, perchance?
No.
Okay. Well, they do list the instructions in English. I'm guessing maybe that's
Dutch.
German. Oh, why? Maybe. I don't know. French and Italian?
DE, Denmark, right?
Yeah, but EN is English, so I'm thinking DE. I don't know.
What is that?
That looks like the shift, the shaft for shifting the dig transmission.
Oh, make a wish.
That would be the shift fork for the dig transmission.
What? Why are these blue?
What? Those would be the friction pads for the slipper. Probably not. Maybe. Don't know.
Okay, page 20. I'm gonna need some thread lock. And I'm gonna need some black grease. And I'm gonna put this clip on now before I lose it.
What? Yeah. Sure enough.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need 642. That's gonna be these three. And then I'm gonna need this dude, and this dude. And here's our 3. Tiny dude. And 14. How do I tell? I think it's this guy.
Agreed, because the other one only has 2 holes in it.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Alright.
2 threaded holes.
So, that guy, this guy.
Eric says, yeah, DE is German.
Oh, okay.
This is the most educational series ever.
I like learning. Okie dokie. Red lock, that looks good, that looks good. Alright.
Could probably just put that on the bottom part.
What?
Because if the screw's going to pass through that curve, that's called an outdrive.
Mhm.
The screw's going to pass through the outdrive, and then it's going to pass through that gear. Haha, 3 hands!
What are you
Right.
talking about?
So the screw threads into that. So, yep,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but it'll just perhaps curb some gooey mess getting on things it doesn't need to.
good jam.
That's right. We already did that joke yesterday.
Oh.
Can't use the same joke twice. I'll let you do this.
Where'd my cap go?
Right.
Oh, thanks. Wait a minute. Is one side the right side, or is it the same?
Don't know. Looks the same to me. Since it doesn't seem to be marked in any way or called out, I'm thinking that it's probably the same. Welcome, Russell. Welcome, John. I wonder, can I edit the video description while we're doing this? Or is it going to make it crash? That way, you know, people that are joining, I wouldn't have to keep telling them that, hey, this is Jackie Builds CAPRA. And then explaining who you are and all that stuff. They could be able to just read it. I will have to try that offline, but I don't want to risk our 2-hour stream. I know. Yeah, we're about to wrap it up for the day. We're close. All good? Snug?
Yep.
Splendid.
Should I wipe that?
Sure.
You got those?
Just towel. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't even use these when you were making the shocks. You did such a good job. I would have used like 6 of them.
I've been accused of being neat.
Yeah, being neat and organized can probably only help you with these types of things.
It's beautiful. Okie dokie. Part of me wants like a huge red marker.
Done.
This guy. Part of it's flattened. This guy. That doesn't seem logical. Because the pin has to go into this guy.
Right, so how can you avoid that?
Oop.
Smash! Yeah. Yep. Yeah, careful. Slidey pin. And then another bearing, I think. Here. So we can set that. Stop. I'm not talking. Not helping.
What?
You're doing a good job. You don't need me to help. I'm just here for color commentary. Mm-hmm. Sure. I think maybe the other way. No?
Oh, I already put it.
Oh, that's why. Oh, so you want to take it, yeah. You'll have to take it out of here.
What?
Yes! It made me think of the Chappelle show when you said, what?
You see Chappelle won an award? He won that Mark Twain award.
I did not see it.
He's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna grease it first.
There you go.
No.
My God, what?
Did I tell you I saw the Dora the Explorer movie?
You did not tell me.
Oh my gosh, it's basically me. It's like an autobiography. Especially the part where she pulls out a giant knife. Oh my gosh. One time I went hiking in the Davis Mountains with some friends. And they're like, what do you need a Bowie knife? I was like, come here, look. You see,
we're camping in the woods.
you see that ridge right there? You know what's on the other side or who's on the other side? And they're like, you're dude. I'm like, yeah, but I'm the only one with a knife. I don't know, man.
Problems?
I think the thing was supposed to go the way I had it the first time. It's not snapping in. So... maybe this is not snapped down.
Well, that wouldn't make it better. Are there two different depths on this, maybe?
218. Okay.
So this gear is slightly different from one side to the other. I don't know if that can impact how far down this sits on there.
There's like this little shelf right here.
Yeah, that's in there.
Just seems like, let's see.
let's think this. Well, I mean, they definitely have the bearing going on the back side. If you put the pin and then the bearing and then the gear and then another bearing, it wouldn't even all fit on there. Do you have the right part? Is there a different part that looks similar? No.
Well, this guy's got the round one. This guy's
no,
mostly
I agree with you.
squarish. Well, and then there's this guy.
Yeah, but that's a shift. That's smaller. That's this guy down here.
So it wants me to do like that.
No, that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. No, I think you have it. Yeah, that has to be that. That wouldn't make any sense either. That might make sense. There we go. That's it. So even though this has the shaft, so this is something you can point out to people and explain.
All right, people. It's telling me to put the pin and then the bearing and then this other stuff.
With the gear.
And then I went ahead and put the pin or the shaft in first, and then the bearing just fits in the hole. So with the bearings in first and that coming in the back, then I can slide the pin in there.
Yeah.
And the other gear.
And that's definitely the way to do it, whereas the instructions make it look like you're supposed to slide everything in from the back side. So, good times.
Alright, that works. Okie dokie. But now there's not enough space for the other.
Try to flip that gear over, see if it makes a difference. Because there are two. You see how one side looks slightly different than the other? I don't know that one side is deeper or not, but maybe that will change it. If not, there you go. Yeah, that's it. So that gear may have come from something else, or maybe they. Yep. Splendid.
That's what it looks like.
So yeah. So now you can put that in, and then you should be able to cap it all together with the back piece. This guy. Yeah. And then I think there's one screw to put in. Yeah. You see it?
Times 2. Are these different?
I think you need to use this right here. So that's AXA 146, so M3 by 12. M3. So the one on the left is M2.5. Yeah, I think it's one of those. You'll probably have used multiple of them throughout doing the transmission.
What? It says, like, is it?
You only need one for now. I don't know, M3 by 12. Grab your calipers and measure them.
It says there's 2 of them.
Well, that's down here, but we're not to that. We're still doing this. So we just need to get this one screw in, because the one screw holds these two halves together.
Yeah, that's 146.
That's for the whole page, right? Oh, so yeah. So there's supposed to be 2, but it's not telling us necessarily where the other one is, so we may not be using it yet. It could be another error in the instructions.
So
what are you looking for?
Looking for the 2 that match, just so I know.
Well, there may be more than 2 of it. is what I'm saying, in the bag. Like over here, you have more M3x12 that you're going to use later. And on the next page, there may be more. And more and more. So all I would worry about is look at your part number, which is AXA146. Look up here to see what length it's supposed to be, M3x12. I'd grab one and put it in. That way your two halves are secured together. Because what you don't want to have happen is be playing with this thing and just have it fall apart. Yeah. But that one is M2.5. It's narrow. It's one of those. Oh, I've been neglecting comments. I apologize. I'm fired. Hey Sean, yeah, this is going to be her last step. We're going to finish up probably page 20, and that will be it for the day, since we're at about 2 hours and 12 minutes, give or take.
I don't know, man. I'll try the little one.
It's not going to be the little one, huh?
Yeah.
They're calling for the little one in a different spot. It's just you gotta
smash it?
You're gonna have to hold smash, yeah. I'm sure once it gets started, you'll be able to. There you go. So to anyone else, I guess, that's watching this while you follow along and build it, the instructions on page 20 have a couple of little things that might be confusing. In the top left corner, it says you'll need 2 M3x12 screws, but when you look at the pictures, the exploded diagrams to the right, it looks like you only actually need one of those on this page. You do need 2 of the M3x8s in the bottom exploded diagram, what it looks like, but for this center part, it looks like you only need 1. Because I know you can see another spot that is, you know, has that countersink that you'd use that right now. So, anyway, well, I think that's probably good. I mean, I know we're midway in the middle of the page. I don't know if you want to finish the page or just pick up here tomorrow, because we are at 2:12 on time.
Alright, yeah, let's just pick it back up tomorrow.
Alright, fair enough. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This will be rebroadcast again on YouTube for anyone that wants to watch it. And I believe our plan will be, you're here tomorrow, is that right?
Yep.
So we should be broadcasting part 3, episode 3. It will be at least a trilogy now, we know. Tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, Locked Up RC. Are you going to give your peace sign? That's like your sign now. Right? Yeah, okay, roll credits. Woohoo!
Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA. Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA.